Jessica from Hull Libraries, and today I'm with Gaynor Bonner. Gaynor is a member of the End of Life team working for the CHCP, and she's also been working in the COVID vaccination clinics. Hi, Gaynor.
Well, hello, Jessica. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Are you all right?
Yes, thank you. I'm a bit nervous, but good. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for talking to us today. Would you like to tell us a bit, Gaynor, about your work with people at the end of life?
Sure. Okay. So just as a bit of history, I've been a nurse for 47 years and I started in oncology and absolutely loved that. And then as the years progressed, developed and widened my scope. And when I semi-retired a year last November, I wanted to go back to the basic bedside to be able to give back and do what I love. So I applied to the palliative team, End of Life, and asked if I could be of use to them as an unqualified nurse. And that role is where you sit in people's homes with the person that's end of life, be it if they're on their own, so company, or respite for the family if they need to just get to bed if they're exhausted, but they're upstairs if they're needed. And it's wonderful. It's such a privilege to sit in people's homes and share those last weeks. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's been hours as I've gone in. People have been right at the very end. And just to be able to give that comfort and support and just a shoulder sometimes has been very rewarding for me, and I hope beneficial for them as well.
It must be a hugely emotional thing to be part of, a very intimate, private point of somebody's life.
It is. It's the last thing that you can do for somebody, and as I say, it's a privilege to be able to just be there and hold somebody's hand or paint somebody's nails or whatever they want to do. Chat or sing, or we've done all sorts. You know, got the dog, wrestled the dog into the bed with them at the end because that's what they wanted, even if the dog didn't. We've done that. It's whatever they want to do, and I love it. I love it.
And can you tell me if there are there any particularly moving memories that you have? Is there anything that really stands out? That everything must be unique in a way for each person.
Yeah, I mean, we cover the area that we cover is quite vast, and so I've been into one, you know, some houses where they've got nothing, but they'll buy you a packet of chocolate biscuits because they're so grateful that you come in. And that touched me once. I went into one house and there was 5 of them around the bed, and they were just, it was as if the Messiah had walked in. Honestly, the respect that they afforded me. And I said, no, I'm just, you know, I'm just here. And they were so grateful that they just needed a sleep, and to know that the dad was safe with somebody and they could just switch off for an hour. And that touched me, you know, that they were grateful for that and vocal about that as well. It was lovely. And then I had another little chap whose wife was very at the end when I walked in, and he hadn't realised, or he hadn't wanted to know. So I had to ask him, did he want me to get him at the very end and sit with her? And he said, if you don't leave me, don't leave me. So I said to him, do you want to snuggle on the bed with her? They've been married 60 years. And he said, am I allowed? Of course you are. So I got him comfy on the bed and he just held her at the end, and I just stood at the door, and that was beautiful, actually.
That really is an amazing gift for somebody to be given that confidence to be able to take part in.
Yeah, it was lovely.
In that process. I feel quite moved.
Oh. When I worked in oncology at Princess Royal, I was on gynae oncology. We thought we had a couple of weddings, you know, and that was lovely to be part of that and to enable that and to be privileged to be kind of like a flower girl. that was lovely.
It must be, and I know I've heard stories in the media about some of the people working in ICU at the moment and how the lengths that they've gone to support people at end of life and to make sure that people are not alone.
Absolutely.
And that's incredibly important, isn't it?
To be frightened at the end, that's the one thing you don't want to be, isn't it? And if you can alleviate that or just be present, that's all you have to be, is just be present sometimes, and then that's enough. And sometimes that gives them courage. You know, the lady I'm with at the minute, she's an old Hessel Roader, and we click. I mean, I don't come from Hull, but we just click, but same base sense of humour. And she talks black and white, you know, and don't mess me around. You know, am I dying? Is it going to be today? And she shared some stuff with me, and I shared some stuff with her. It's been a two-way thing, you know. It's been And a class now, she's asked me to go to a funeral last night. She said at the end, will you come? And I said, I'm privileged to come. So that was nice. We talked about songs, and she's going to have, what is it, the bassist she wrote? No, not the bassist she wrote, it was Bee Gees, Staying Alive. That's what she's going to have at the end, because she said, I don't want anybody coming out crying. And I said, oh, we did that for my mum, and the vicar did all the thing as he walked down the aisle, and it just made everybody smile. And yeah.
Oh, excellent. It sounds wonderful and really, really rewarding.
Yeah, it is.
And you've been working in the vaccination clinics as well for COVID. Can you tell me a bit about that as well?
Yeah, I can. I did my first shift at the beginning of January, and we were doing the 80 plus age, and we didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. We got there for 7 o'clock. It was cold. It was dark. KC Stadium organised. It was so slick. We all got into our teams, and everybody was given an appointment, and it just flowed. It was wonderful. But other than that, the atmosphere and the overwhelming sense of gratitude and love that came flooding our way completely reduced me to tears several times. And even people were just, I came home at the end of that shift and my husband said, I've never seen you. I was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. In 47 years, that's got to be right up there with it. And it was just, thank you for giving me my life back. Thank you. They've been through the war, they've been through the Blitz, they've been through all sorts of horrific stuff. But they hadn't been at the house for a year. They were giddy with excitement. They were bringing us chocolates. A chap came last week, and I actually put it up on my Facebook page. He brought us an apple that he got, and that's all he had. He was so poor. And he'd just written a handwritten note, tied it with a bit of string, and put it on the core of the apple and just put it on the table. I can't tell you how that moved me as well, you know. Just so simple, but just so powerful, really. And I can see it touched me. It does now. It's been a privilege. That has been a privilege. I love my job. It's all I've ever wanted to do. It's all I've ever done. Never pulled a pint, never worked in a supermarket, never done anything else. And yeah, I'm grateful for that.
Was nursing something you always knew you wanted to do?
I was 3. I used to walk around with a little pinny on with a big lipstick kiss on my front, big red cross, and all the teddies. I used to suffer a lot with my throats, and we lived in a village. My dad was a village policeman, and opposite was the midwife and the doctor. And he used to bring all empty little bottles that we put Smarties in, and that would be everybody's medication. And that's all I ever wanted to be. And when I was 16, I became a cadet nurse. And when I went for the interview, I went with my mum, and they said, yeah, we'd like to offer you the job. And it will be, it was £60 a year. And I thought, because that was like 1974, I'm very old, been nursing 47 years now. And I thought, and I looked at mum and I said, can we afford that? And she said, what, love? And I said, can we afford? I thought we had to pay them for the privilege of me being allowed to be a cadet. And they looked and they went, no, love, we pay you. And I'm like, what? You're going to pay me to do what I've always wanted to do? And good grief, yeah. And so from then on, it's just been my love, really. And I've been privileged. I've never been one of them people that's worked anywhere they haven't enjoyed. I've loved everything. I've worked in custody, I've worked in A&E, and now I'm at the end of life. So I've seen the whole gamut, really. And there isn't one placement that I haven't loved. I've learned from and enriched me, really.
And you must have seen nursing change a lot over those years, because from 1974 to sort of present day, it must be almost unrecognisable in some ways, but the same in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get involved in the politics and, you know, pay rises and stuff like that. I'm just grateful to do what I do, and I think I get paid well enough to live. And, you know, I'm not of that ilk at all, but I don't, you know, I'd go stand on a picket line now with the girls after what they've done and the slap in the face that they've just been given. I would go stand on a picket line for them. It's become a lot more academic, which is good, because in the old days, once you'd qualified, you know, you just then rolled on and learned experientially, and there's nothing that can take away from that. You know, see it, do it, teach it, was the philosophy when I was training. But now everything is evidence-based, which is good. You know, you've got to roll with the times, haven't you? And you've got to be current. but I'm glad I'm at the end of it now. I'm not starting, I think, personally.
And to go back to the COVID clinics, obviously the experience you were talking about would have been the very vulnerable, the very elderly. Has it carried on being as rewarding? Are people still coming in now who are just as thankful, or has that changed?
That's changed as the ages have dropped down. I have to say that the sense of, and I'm not wanting people to bow down. I'm not wanting them to say thank you. I'm doing a job, I'm doing my job. But it's no, the age. I have noticed difference that some of them are cross that they've had to come to KC when they live East Hull, and I'm like, okay. So they said, couldn't you have got your act together, love, and got me up at the other end of the city? And I'm like, no, I didn't have. I don't have any control over that. But overwhelmingly, I do think that people just see this as like, let's all crack on and unite and let's do it. So no, maybe it was just because that was a novelty then, but that nobody will ever take that first shift away from me. I'll bore anybody to death with that shift.
It sounds as though you're incredibly busy, Gaynor, at the moment, and I understand that you're also a City of Hull street angel. So can you tell me how that came about and what you do?
Oh yes. We'd gone to a reunion, and my friend Carol and I, of nurses that were trained in the 70s and 80s, and we both met after not seeing each other for years. And she said to me, have you heard about the Street Angels? I'd love to do it, but will you come and do it with me? So we came together holding hands, and we've loved every minute of it ever since then. It's such a balance to what I do normally, and it is it's a long shift. It's 9 till 3. It's just one shift a month we do, but often we'll do more because we love it. And the vibe that we get from the people in town, we get screeched at across the city, the flip-flop angels, and it's nice. We've got a really good rapport with the people in the city. The door staff love us. We get on really well with the police and the ambulance crews because we can deal with a lot at source, and those that we know that we can't, then we appropriately then call out the emergency services. So it all works beautifully.
Oh, it sounds fantastic.
It is. It's good fun, and it's good. And I mean, I'm one of the eldest. We've got people coming in at 16, 17, and across the whole gamut of occupations. So, and we all just blend together, and we get on brilliantly. It's great.
Well, thank you so much, Gaynor, for telling us about your experiences, and thank you as well for the work that you're doing, because I haven't had my vaccination yet. Maybe when people view this I might have done, but I'm so looking forward to it and very grateful to all of the staff, the volunteers, everybody that's involved in the process.
Absolutely. They stood out there in all the cold in the big shiny jackets with a great big smile on their face, and it's just thank you to them as well, because they just make it smooth and slick, and hooray for us all, really.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.